If you've been keeping tabs, we've ridden the Zero FX quite a lot. First in 2013 when I rode one to the top of Pikes Peak during the 91st running of the iconic event. Later that year I was fortunate enough to be drafted onto a team that raced another FX twice around the clock, making history as the first electric motorcycle to do so. In 2014, Zero's VP of Global Marketing and off-road racing legend, Scott Harden, invited EIC Kevin Duke and myself to his backyard track to get a taste of the FX in its natural, dirt environment. Following that, editor Roderick and I took another FX to Adams Motorsports Park to put it head-to-head with a Suzuki DRZ400SM for a gas versus electric supermoto face-off, where it won. And because I hadn't had enough of the FX in early 2015, I had the bright idea to take one to the short track at Del Mar to try my hand at flat track racing, in quotes, because I had no idea what I was doing. So, with no less than 5 Zero FX stories in our archives, a natural next question might be, another Zero FX review? Yes indeed, and here's why. Save for the trip to Harden's compound and the trek to Del Mar to play in the dirt. Each time we rode the FX on pavement, the bike had been modified for supermoto, used by Harlan Flagg of Hollywood Electrics. The most obvious change being the switch to 17-inch wire spoke wheels and sticky rubber to replace the 21-inch front and 18-inch rear that come standard. At around $3,000, Flagg's top-of-the-line Sumo kit for the FX transforms the bike into an immensely entertaining car track or backroad bomber. But it's a hefty price to pay on top of the $10,990 for the bike itself, $9,890 after a $1,100 federal tax credit. Give them what they want. For 2016, Zero dug into its own parts bin of 17-inch wheels from the S and senior models to offer the FX in supermoto trim direct from the factory. The result is the 2016 Zero FXS. In addition to the wheels, 110/70ths-17 front and 140/70ths-17 rear Pirelli Diablo Rosso 2 tires are also fitted, the same rubber used on the senior. The S platform also donates its bigger brakes to the FXS. The 320mm disc replacing the 240mm disc on the FX. A J1 twin-piston caliper bites down on the disc, supported by steel braided lines and switchable Bosch hubs. Zero's partnership with Showa sees a 41mm fork working in conjunction with a single shock. Both units are fully adjustable, but damping is adjusted slightly from the units on the FX to better suit road duties. Front suspension travel is 7.0 in, rear 8.94 in. As for the electrics, both the FX and FXS see a 14% increase in capacity from their hot swappable batteries, the single battery rated at 3.3 kWh and the dual battery setup 6.5 kWh. 2.9 kWh and 5.7 kWh nominal, respectively. Zero's new Z-Force interior permanent magnet (IPM) motor is equipped on FXS models. Its ability to create less heat and to more efficiently dissipate heat is a big benefit to supermoto riders. Read the Zero DSR review here for more details on the IPM motor. Or grab some popcorn and watch this video of Zero's Director of Powertrain Engineering, Ryan Bifford, give an in-depth explanation of his patent-pending creation. Meanwhile, the FX NOS will retain the surface mount permanent magnet (SMPM) motor used previously. Power output doesn't change regardless of the motor, meaning 70 pounds-feet of torque is on tap, as well as 44 horsepower, 27 horsepower with the single ZF 3.3 battery. combined with a claimed curb weight of 293 pounds. The FXS has all the ingredients to upset sport bike riders in the canyons. Let's get crackin'. The world-famous Alice's restaurant would be the start-finish point for our ride aboard the FXS. If you've never been to this popular moto hangout, it's nestled deep in the woods of Northern California, which means it's surrounded by wonderfully twisty ribbons of pavement in all directions. Zero devised a guided loop for the assembled journos to ride, with a pace that left nobody wishing for more. Overnight rains in the area meant the roads were less than ideal, and Zero personnel warned us repeatedly to be mindful of throttle application, as sport tires, damp roads and 70 pounds-feet of torque were a potential recipe for a high side. My plan of attack was to ride like I would on any other canyon ride, with no concessions to battery savings. The FXS stayed in sport mode to take advantage of full power. The reasoning was twofold. First, I wanted to test the bike's range in a setting that would drain the battery quickly. The second reason is inspired by the experience Roderick and I had during our gas versus electric comparison, where the FX would provide 2 thrilling laps before thermal cutback diluted the fun significantly. Basically, I wanted to try and overheat the new IPM motor to see how it would react. From the start, I was liberal with my throttle application, careful not to spin up the rear tire, but also demanding as much juice as possible. It's said over and over again, but the sheer acceleration of electrics is intoxicating, and the FXS is no exception. Power delivery didn't seem as instant as I remember on past FX models, but without having one to test side by side it was impossible to know. Zero says the software hasn't changed. Still, acceleration is fierce, and if you time it right, goosing the throttle can point the front towards the sky. The FXS's slim body, lightweight and wide bars make for a motorcycle eager to be tossed into turns, though the wet roads meant exploring the edge grip of the Pirelli tires would have to wait until another time. That said, the Diablo Rosso too rubbery allowed for respectable lean angles considering the conditions. As with the DSR, some of the assembled journos weren't happy with the ABS, claiming it intervened too soon and got especially confused while braking over bumps. I personally was never able to activate the front ABS, except while squeezing the lever over rough patches of road. Depending on your riding style, applying the brakes earlier but with less force could be the answer. Either that or switching off the ABS entirely.